Watson Whitaker.
Here's a manifest with 102 souls on board.
Let's get them tucked in. We're ready to push.
How you feeling, man? Looked like you pulled some kind of move up there, man. You saved a lot of lives.
Let's talk a little bit about, you've been in this business a few years now.
Watch it.
Picking roles back then versus picking roles now, how have you changed as a person, as an actor, would you say?
Early on, you didn't pick roles. You waited until you got a chance to audition for one, or one picked you. I'm just always looking for good material, for something different than what I'd done before, so this was a great role, especially even just coming off of Safe House, which was a whole another kind of vibe. So I don't have a set pattern or criteria for how I do it, I don't think I'll be playing an alcoholic pilot next, In fact, I know I won't be.
So what type of film is this, if you're going to describe it?
Oh, gosh, that's a really good question. It's a thrilling adventure film, Flight. Denzel Washington in Flight. Actually, it's a really intimate portrait of a very talented, brilliant, brave man in a very, very sad situation with himself.
Right. I mean, it's got action, it's a character piece, it's got fantastic performances, it's got humor, it's got suspense, drama.
Well, I'd want to say it's an adult film, but it's not quite an adult film. It's a sophisticated look at somebody with a profound addiction in a position of authority and control, and just an examination of how difficult it is to get that monkey off your back,
What do you kind of make of sensationalism today versus, let's say, way back when? Because when the character, there's a whole media storm, and we didn't really have all that, let's say, a good 30 years ago. Do you think I guess today's situations are just highly sensationalized?
I don't know that they're more I suppose they are more sensationalized, but they're just more outlets, and the hordes are larger, and they get information much more quickly, and they can all convene at, at some hapless star's house, or, they can all gather in some place where they want to create a hero or undo a hero.
Well, specifically to this film, he is hailed as a hero to begin with, and everyone's like, he saved this plane, and then suddenly, he's the anti-hero because actually he pulled the wool over everybody's eyes a little bit and said, regardless of the fact that the plane was messed up. So I think, yeah, I do think the press like to heighten everything, but that's the world we live in. What you gonna do about it?
Things like this is good.
This is nice. This is a conversation. This is real.
We are in a dive. I have no control on my side. Everybody in brace positions.
The way you landed that plane was nothing short of a miracle.
I see nothing but houses. Listen to me. Trim us nose down.
The plane fell apart at 30,000 feet.
We're gonna roll it. What do you mean roll it? Ready? Here we go.
Are the skies safe, would you say?
Well, you think of the thousands and thousands of flights every day where we haven't had. I mean, I don't remember, when was the last major incident in the United States? So it's a testament to the great job that pilots do. And I like to say this isn't a film as much about pilots as it is about addiction. It's just that's the most dramatic, idea, that, or sure, I guess you could, run the space shuttle or something,
So let's talk about Melissa the flyer. What kind of flyer is Melissa?
Oh, I fly more than I would care to. I'm grateful for the flights. They bring me both to work and home again. But I don't pay much attention when I'm, even upon arrival at the airport, I sort of go on a automatic response and knit as we sit and wait and take off and eventually fall asleep, and hopefully we've landed by then.
Would you trust Denzel to save you and if you were in peril?
I think he was a very good pilot. I mean, like they say in the movie, you know, he's the only person that could have landed that plane. And then you have that other question of, you know, did he land that plane because he was kind of loose? You know, if he was completely sober, he might not have been able to have had the confidence to flip it. You know what I mean? So all those questions, yeah.
Did it make you think at all, like, when, you know, it made me think, like, next time I get on a flight, like, I hope the pilot wasn't drinking. I mean, would it make you think about things like that?
It's out of my control. I mean, yeah, I mean, yes, of course, it doesn't even cross your mind that somebody would it? You know, you just hope that they haven't. I always like to listen to them now when they do the announcement, and I go, oh yes, he sounds terribly awake. Oh, I'll be totally fine. He doesn't sound drunk at all.
I'm on the list, baby girl. There is all kinds of crazy news people out here. You're a rock star, man. You will never pay for another drink as long as you live.
Captain Whitaker is a real American hero.
This is Hugh Lang, who's an attorney from Chicago. Why do we need a lawyer?
You don't remember having your blood drawn the night of the crash? You had alcohol in your system. That could be life in prison.
The NTSB hearings in 10 days.
They're under the microscope right now.
Are you hiding something?
You gonna shoot me? Can I come inside?
Yeah, come on inside. I'll shoot you inside.
This was an act of God.
Those God would do this.
Our investigators concluded the aircraft failed.
The FAA placed 10 pilots in simulators, recreated the events. Every pilot killed everybody on board. You were the only one who could do it.
How would you react if this situation was happening? I'm just curious.
As a pilot?
Yeah.
I'd be screaming. I'd be like, Mommy. You know, I guess I'd try to do and if I was an experienced pilot, as experienced as he is, I'd try to do what was necessary, you know, to bring us down and to, you know, and he did all the right things. He did, you know, he flew the plane brilliantly and maneuvered it, a crazy maneuver. And, you know, I think there were 110 or 12 people on there, and he lost 4, something like that.
I feel like no one can do a crash scene like Bob Zemeckis. So let's talk about the crash scene and how you envisioned it, and also, like, do you still kind of get a kick out of, like, I can't believe this is my job?
Yeah. No, it's like, you know, a movie studio is the, you know, greatest electric train set a boy could ever have. Orson Welles said that. You know, listen, it's really cool to be able to, you know, order up a set that turns 180 degrees and you hang a lot of people upside down, and, you know, listen, it's fun. You know, for me, doing a scene like a crash or a very harrowing plane incident. That's what cinema is all about. I mean, that's where you get to be a director. I mean, a director. I mean, not that I'm saying that directing actors isn't directing as well, but that's where you use all the tools of cinema to just create something that really can't be created in any other art form as effectively as in the movies.
This film is unique in that it's, you know, has these big action elements, but there's also a moral kind of subplot to it. Tell me a little bit about that and what you personally took away from that.
I think the thing is people are going to be surprised. You know, they think that it is, like you said, it's an action film about a plane crash and it's going to go on into an investigation and Denzel's going to be the hero. But the film goes into a character study of somebody who is suffering with, who is struggling with their addiction and their lies that they're telling in their life, and how they're destroying everything around them and how it destroys him. So I think it's a wonderful sort of surprise and journey to take people on, especially once they've kind of become involved with the plane crash. I feel like we can't lose them then. They've got to go on that journey.
It's a beautiful portrait about a lot of aspects of humanity and the interplay with people. There's an ongoing sort of backbeat of a story of you know, people who witness what might be considered wrong. Do you say something? When do you say something? How do you say something? Is it your place to say anything at all? A lot of questions asked and examined in flight.
Now, you personally, do you think you would say something? How would you fare? And in those kinds of situations, do you speak up?
How do you mean?
Do you speak up in kind of situations?
Oh, it depends upon what the situation might be. And sometimes I choose to sort of protect myself in my busy day, and sometimes I do. I see things in the streets of New York, for example, that are hard to walk by. Over the years, I've made a nice friend that way, a woman on the street years ago.
Thank you so much. You're ballsy. You're ballsy. I like it. Last question. People are talking. The Gold Man.
The Gold Man.
What are your thoughts on that? This early Oscar buzz. Do you think about that kind of thing?
I'm hearing it a lot the last couple of days, so I guess I'll be thinking about it more. I mean, I'm flattered that I'm even thought of in that conversation. That means that we did our job.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
You saved my mom. I want to talk about the days leading up to the accident.
This thing is so heavy it's killed me. I drank the night before the flight. Does Whitaker know he's going to jail?
My clients don't go to jail.
It's alive. It's alive.
I'm trying to save your life.
No one could have landed that plane like I did.
I have to also ask you, because you're the man, I need to know, what is the reality of a hoverboard?
The reality of a hoverboard?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like sort of a maglev system, you know.
Does
It's kind of like you ever take like two magnets of the same pole and you can't press them together. That's sort of like how a hoverboard works.
Why can't we make them, sell them?
They're too dangerous, you know. They can't get approved by OSHA.
You're right. You're right. And working with Denzel,
you'll have to get. Everyone will have to go to flight training to actually. The FAA will probably be in charge of hoverboards.
You should be in charge of hoverboards.
I
You're
should.
the man.
I know.